Is number 8, get comfortable with visual aids, and is 5 to 7 minutes. The title is Tools of the Toastmaster Trade. Please welcome Arnie Buss.
Have you ever tried to drive a nail into a board without a hammer? Have you ever tried to cut a board without a saw? If you're a Jedi Knight, have you ever tried to defeat the evil forces without a lightsaber? Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests, when you have a job to do, you should use the proper tools. And today I'm going to talk about some of the tools that we use in Toastmasters to help get our job done. And what is that job? That job is improving our communication and our leadership skills. Now in Toastmasters, the very first tool is something that you may not think about. The first tool is the Toastmasters Promise. When we all join, we get handed this card and read a few yada yada yadas, and then we kind of toss it aside and kind of forget about it. But the Toastmasters Promise includes attending club meetings regularly, preparing speeches to the best of your ability, basing them on manual speeches, and to maintain honest and ethical standards when dealing with other people. Now, isn't that the way that we should live our lives? Isn't that the way that we should be? Isn't this a great tool for reminding us how we should be with one another? The second tool that we encounter are the manuals. We have the Competent Communication Manual, we've heard 2 examples from, and you're hearing one right now. There's also the Competent Leadership Manual that you have hopefully heard about. I'm not going to talk specifically about these, but these are valuable tools in getting specific about learning how to give an effective speech. From vocal variety, to this one, which is using props, to inspiring and even persuading your audience to your point of view. Each of these manual speeches is a tool for helping improve your communication and leadership. But it doesn't stop there. There are tools all around us. One of the most effective tools is this right here. When we use ahs and ums and pregnant pauses and other filler things, this tool right here, effectively wielded by our intrepid ah counter, helps remind us of this fact. Another one is right here. This timing light, which we've affectionately dubbed the time machine, helps remind us that time is valuable and that the use of time when we have an audience is something that we should not squander and use effectively. Here's another tool. This is actually 2 tools. The first one are these ballots at the bottom, where we vote for who the best and most improved speakers, table topics, people, etc. are. These help remind us to achieve and strive for excellence. I remember when I first joined Toastmasters, I despaired of ever winning table topics. I just was so terrible at table topics. And meeting after meeting, I would say, call on me and I'll try it. And they'd call on me and I wouldn't win. And I finally gave up. I said, well, this is just something I'll never be able to do. And then one day when I wasn't even thinking about it, I got called and did something off the top of my head, and lo and behold, I won. And that was a thrilling moment for me to achieve a goal that I had strived for. But the second part of this tool are these little areas here where you give comments to the speaker. So that's something that we can effectively use to hear what others see it and how we are perceived. Here's another tool, our intrepid World Bank, as we call it. Other clubs call them kitties, or the morning club calls it the piggy, because it's like a little piggy bank. And what is this? Whenever we say too many ahs, or we don't use the word of the day, we have to put a little bit of money in here. So what's the big deal with that? Well, it helps us remind us in a concrete way that whenever we strive for one of these things, or we falter a little bit, that there's a specific consequence of it. See, some of the other clubs have something kind of interesting about the word of the day. They said if everybody uses the word of the day, then the word master has to pay $1 into the kitty. We'll take that up with the executive. Another tool, which isn't evident right here, are note cards. Now, I encourage everybody giving a speech to use these note cards. In fact, my speech right here, let's see, where am I here? Word of the day, World Bank, ballots, note cards. So rather than having to read a speech verbatim, there's a much stronger connection with your audience when you're speaking directly with them and forming the words on the spot. And so this helps you do that. Another tool, in preparing the speech, become a little more conscious of yourself. And so using a mirror to see how you look can be a very frightening thing for some of us. But for some of us, it's a help in improving the speech. And hey, some of us are old enough to remember what that was. And fellow Toastmasters, there's one final tool, one final thing that we have that helps us improve, and that is this. You, our fellow members, encouraging each other, giving each other feedback, helping each other get better and better. Improving our public speaking skills helps all aspects of our lives. And so, fellow Toastmasters, whether you're seeking to become a better communicator, a better leader, or just living a better life, use the proper tools. Madam Toastmaster.